আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night.
This is it. This is a new.
Hello, we are back. It's the second segment of the ILFL Soccer Night show, and now we're going to talk about the ILFL and Shanali Veterans League, which takes place on a Monday and a Thursday. In fact, we've got games happening tonight and Thursday. We need to talk about what's happened last week. Last Monday, we had a couple of First Division games, and then we had Prem games taking place on the Thursday. Let me show you the First Division results as they happened last week on the Monday and Thursday. They're here on your screen right now. So, Redbridge, surprise, surprise, or maybe to be expected. They actually went down by 2-1 now against the revived Legends. And Shadwell Masters still can't win a game, but they can score a goal. But they went down by 2-1 to the B team of Beaumont Masters. The other two fixtures in that division, Moston went down 2-0 to Bernardo Legends. Is this the revival, the resurgence of a Bernardo Legends again? Can they go unbeaten again? Riverside went down by 8-2 against the St. Catherine's Vets. St. Catherine's themselves just dropped out of the Prem and are now looking to bounce back with some credible performances. In the Premier Division, the 4 games that took place on Thursday, Beaumont Masters beat Bromley by 2-0. Stepney and London Tigers fought out a 0-0 draw. Sire beat Tower Hamlets by 4-1. Tower Hamlets showing their usual early season form. And Abahani beating Weavers by 2-1. Now Abahani scored 2 goals.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Do you know what? I don't actually ever recall them scoring more than 2 goals in a game.
2 goals.
Maybe they have, but it's so difficult to say because they score a goal and then they shut off basically. They create a line in the defence and that's it. They don't like to move along, So scoring 2 goals against Weavers, I think that was a major accomplishment for them. Weavers are not the easiest team to beat. They've shown resilience. They've got the skills. One of my favourite teams, although they might not be one of the best teams in both of the divisions. They're one of my favourite teams, and they play really attractive and nice footballing. So which I quite like them. So for Abahani to win, it was absolutely amazing. It's just brilliant. So that's good.
It is good.
It is very good for Abahani, yeah, absolutely.
It is indeed. And also in the Premier Division, just running up before we come to the 0-0 draw, it was Sire beating Tower Hamlets by 4-1. Tower Hamlets, we've seen what they're like sometimes. Early season form, it dips. They did that the last time round. They've done it again. Sire, on the other hand, is this now where they need to get their wins in early so they can make a credible charge for top 2?
The issue with Sire is that, they have a appalling start to every season and then they actually get the foot in, and then they do quite well, end of the season. But to see them beating Tower Hamlets, 2 times champion in a row, it's just absolutely fantastic news for them. Unfortunate for Tower Hamlets, I don't think they've been able to capture or attract some of the players that they've been able to attract in the previous season, so that's why they're not doing so well. But Sire are one of those teams that are quite resilient. They might lose a few games, but they don't actually let that break them apart. They quickly pull themselves together and then they start performing. And I like that about a team like that can do that type of thing. Not many teams can do that. If you lose 2 or 3 games in a row, a lot of teams just belly up. It's so frustrating. The players don't turn up and it all goes pear-shaped. But for a team like Sire to be able to pull off and pull the team together by losing 2 or 3 goals early in the season and getting this far and getting fantastic results against a team like Tower Hamlets, it's just amazing.
It is indeed. Beaumont Masters beating Bromley by 2-0. 2 teams who would have liked to have seen a good start to the season so they can make a challenge, and Beaumont Masters have got it. They're hanging on to the top 2.
Masters, I think they've had a resurgence in their fortunes in the last 2 seasons. I remember in the very first season they did absolutely fantastic, and I think they even actually drew against Tigers in one of the fixtures, so they did very well. Since then they haven't been doing that great, but over the last 2 seasons I've seen them. They've made some major changes, and they kind of said, well, I think they actually broke the old schools club, old boys club, and so they've got some of the new players in and they're doing fantastic. But the issue with me is that with Beaumont and Bromley, they play similar type of footballing, they get similar type of results, and they kind of finish similar on the table every season. So there's not much to differentiate these teams. The only thing that I can differentiate is last week's results, which is Beaumont 1-2-0 against Bromley.
Indeed. Let's take a look at the table for the Premier Division in the Vets, and we can see after 4 games, everybody's played 4 games. Tigers are sitting top with Aberhane. They've both got 10 points each. Beaumont Masters are hanging on to them 3 points behind as the whole thing begins to take shape. And down at the bottom, we've got the Tower Hamlets Vets again, along with Weavers. These are the teams that are struggling to score goals and even get a win. We look into the First Division. Barnardo's and St Catherine's are at the top there. St Catherine's, remember, they went so long without a win, and now they've got 3 wins and a draw, and they're looking like that table's favourites to go up. Are Barnardo's going to join them? Are Barnardo's looking to do what they did 2-3 seasons ago, where they went through the whole season unbeaten? Revive and Redbridge are right behind them, and then it's the best of the rest as Beaumont Masters and Moston with Shadwell and Riverside yet to gain a win out of all of that. We're joined by Shakil in the studio. Shaks, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you.
Good to have you in. Shaks, I've missed your predictions for weeks. So much has been happening, and I keep thinking, you know what, this is what Shaks told us is going to happen. Shaks told us this might happen. And I'm going to speak more to you in the 3rd segment of the show about what my other guests, look, who else managed to find themselves in the studio. We've got the boys from Robin Hood who have come in. Looking very confident about what's going on. We're going to talk to them about that confidence and what's going to happen with their fixtures this weekend, like we said, in the remaining games for them in the Summer League. We're going to get more from them. But Shaks, the Vets League, the summer, it almost looks like in the summer, the teams play a different style of football to what they play in the winter. And some teams actually revive themselves. Look at what Barnardo's are doing in the First Division. Look at what Aberhane are doing this time round that they couldn't do when it was all cold. I mean, is this a coincidence? Am I just clutching at straws here, or is there something in it?
I think it's the way they play football. They tried to play one-touch football. They tried to play football. I think in the winter, I think they get a bit cold. I think the weather has a big factor on the way they play. And obviously teams know how to stop them playing, be aggressive and don't let them play. And I think that's the difference. Stamina is a very important factor in here. But Aberhane, they like to play quick football. They've got a lot of stamina. I think that's whether they're catching out on.
Indeed. Would you agree with that then?
I don't know, it's tough to say. You know, summer, winter is a huge difference. I think what I've actually noticed this season is that every season in the past, they've used the same players. And they kept doing that. Except actually, to tell a lie, except the first season. The first season was a complete disaster for them. I think they finished right at the bottom. And since then, the manager actually rang me to reassure me that, you know, to still put him in for the next seasons, and they're going to rebuild the team, and it's not going to be a complete disaster. Ever since then, they've done absolutely, you know, really good. You know, finishing 3rd, 4th, 2nd, you know, and they've been fighting for the title. I think what they've done this season is that they've brought in some new players, and they look really good. And those are the players that I've never seen before. You know, I don't know where they've got those players from, but they seem to be performing. And this season, it will probably be the season of Aberhane. Who knows? Who
knows? It could be a 3-4-way title shout for what happens in that division. Let's have a look at the games that are taking place this week. In fact, the games that are taking place tonight are here on your screen right now. In the First Division, the B team of Beaumont Masters take on the Riverside Vets. The other key game, which is interesting at the moment at this stage of the season, is FC Redbridge against Barnardo Legends. Redbridge having such a great start, going down to Revive last week, will need to try and bounce back against a very confident Barnardo.
It's one of those games that FC Redbridge need to be really well prepared, because we know that Barnardo Legends had a restructure. They missed 2 seasons, and those 2 seasons that they missed, they've been looking at players and they've been assessing who to bring in the team. And I think the management has done an absolutely fantastic job. You know, the first season they won the whole title without a single loss. Can they do that again on this division? I think there's a good chance that they might achieve that again. For FC Redbridge, they haven't had a good season the previous season. They had a really good start, you know, this season, except the last game where they played Revive. That was a really tight game, and I think that was a huge test for FC Redbridge since the restructuring. What actually happened in that game was that Revive got an early goal, and they're one of the pacey teams, and they move the ball around so nicely. They're quite strong as well. It's a really young team, and they play with each other all of the time. So you can imagine how organised they are. So they got an early lead, and what had happened since then was FC Redbridge actually stepped up. You know, they started pushing and pushing and pushing, and suddenly they actually managed to squeeze in a goal. since then, I think FC Red was probably looking for a draw, and I think that was a big mistake. They should have carried on. They didn't. What happened was that Revive just scored on the very last second. The whistle blew even before the ball actually hit the back of the net. It passed the line,
I heard
do
about
admit.
this, yes.
It passed the line,
I
do
heard
admit,
about
but
that
it didn't hit the net and the whistle blew. So you can imagine the frustration in that, losing a game, being so close to having a draw and then losing it in that last second. It was just,
Absolutely.
wasn't
My heart
great at
goes
all.
out to you guys. I did hear about it. I didn't want to bring it up, but Nanu just opened up the wound for you. I'm really sorry about that. In the Premier Division, we've got they've got fixtures going on this Thursday. All their games are happening this Thursday. Key games for a lot of the teams here. They're here on your screen. Beaumont and Aberhany, winners in that will consolidate a third place position. Bromley Legends and Sire, Bromley really need to hit back. Sire need to do something if they want to get off that third from bottom position. Stepney v Tower Hamlets. Tower Hamlets are right at the bottom. Stepney won't want to slip up there. They'll want to get some points to try and join in with the top three. We don't need to talk about Tigers and Weavers because maybe nothing will happen there. But key games for maybe the other six.
It's got to be the bottom two fixtures, Stepney versus Tower Hamlets. Stepney will be there to prove a point, and Tower Hamlets are going to say, well, we're not a team that you can just come in and walk over us. So that would be a really interesting one.
They really need to step up now, though, Tower Hamlets, don't
they do. I think they can. They have that.
They have the ability. Of course, they have the capability.
They need that willpower. It's just a capability. You might have all the capability, but if you don't have the will to take things forward, then nothing's going to happen. So they need that will and the support of the players, and they need to bring in everyone every week as well. So if they can do that, maybe they can beat Stepney. But the way things stand, I think Stepney they have the upper hand, definitely, because early on in the season they haven't been doing so well, but recently they've shown some improvement. They can show that they can hold off a team like London Tigers. Last week's fixtures, it was a 0-0. I'm not sure which team was surprised. Was it London Tigers drawing against Stepney, or Stepney drawing against?
I have to say, I mean, I only saw the first half of the game, but to me, it almost looked like both teams were a little bit cagey. It's like the respect went before what happened, and they were all just both showed each other a little bit too much respect.
I think they actually did. I mean, for London Tigers to show respect to Stepney, you can see it's the name.
Yeah.
Stepney, as one, is the most dedicated team in ILFL, and they've won more titles than any other team. And it was those players that actually played in those previous years that actually won the titles, and they come back and, onto the veterans, all back together again. So I think London Tigers showed too much respect for Stepney, and then Stepney, on the other hand, did exactly the same thing as well. You're talking about a Tigers team that's been winning, not just the ILFL, they've been winning tournaments, the veterans tournament all across the country, So two teams, very good teams, showing too much respect to each other, resulting in a 0-0 draw.
Shats, just very quickly, the Bromley Legends, are they going to pick themselves back up for this season?
Yeah, they always enjoy playing Sire. And there's always goals for Bromley. I don't know where they get the goals from, because I'm worried about Bromley, where the goals are going to come from, because they don't really have that striker that can score goals week in, week out, and that's a struggle for me.
It's just the way they play. Thanks, gents. That was your comprehensive roundup of the Vets League, and that was our comprehensive roundup of the second segment of the show. It goes quick, doesn't it? But listen, don't worry, I have star guests to speak to. These are the guys who are looking to win the Summer League Prem Division. They just fell short in the Winter League with the second division. They want a divisional title. How badly do they want it? We're going to find out from them. We're going to speak more to Shax. And you're still going to be here to join us for the third segment of the ILFL Soccer Night Show. We'll be back.
আপনারা দেখছেন ILFL Soccer Night.